I'm Scott Frankenberger. I'm having an exhibition at the Art Museum of Greater Lafayette. It's about my ceramics. I started out in ceramics in around 1972 officially, but I had done some ceramics before that in college as part of the general arts program. And I was mostly interested in being a printmaker. I like to do a lot of drawing and marking and things like that. And ceramics was a little frustrating just because it requires a skill level that I didn't have yet. And then I moved down to Lafayette after college. The college that I went to is in Appleton, Wisconsin, Lawrence University, and came down to Lafayette area in 1972. I got a job at Harrison High School, and there was a ceramics room there with equipment that was idle. The other teacher who was there didn't really use the ceramic lab, and I knew more about ceramics than he did, about that much more. So I decided to, use the ceramic lab as my area, and there were some very enthusiastic students there at the time, and we got the place up and running. And I also made friends with Marge Levy at Purdue at the time. She was the professor of ceramics. And whenever I ran into a brick wall, something I didn't know, she was generous. I could call her up and get what I needed. And so I did the teaching for about 2 years, and at the end of the 2 years, that came to an end because the person who was the graduate student at Purdue quit. And Marge called me and said, "How would you like a job? You would be a graduate teaching assistant, and it starts in 2 weeks." And I had kind of gotten tired of high school teaching, so I took this opportunity, and that's kind of where this all took off from at this point, was the opportunity to study ceramics full-time and teach, and on the side eventually develop a little workshop in my home basement. I was trying things and making mistakes, but it was turning into a passion, and I was really enjoying working with the material, and the good results and the bad results were stimulating. So I would say in terms of influences, I was influenced by John Glick, a Michigan potter, Don Pilcher from Illinois, several potters further away whose names I can't remember right now, but anything that I saw that sort of resonated with me, I would integrate into my work. Sometimes I think that the idea of influences, this is my own little take on it, is when you say you're influenced by somebody, I often feel like really what's happening is that something that's in you is being pulled out by having seen what somebody else has done, and you feel like, I wanted to do that too, but I didn't know quite how to do it. Now, they've sort of shown me the pathway, and so it's something that might already be in you that comes out rather than a steal. Sometimes it's a steal. Anyway, so I started producing work, and I think after a period of time, my own style started emerging. And I started selling at art fairs, started selling at some galleries, started selling direct to people through my workshop. And after a while, maybe after about 5 years, it kind of took hold to the point where it was a full-time job. And then I did that for the next 30, 40 years. So here I am. This exhibition at the Art Museum is a survey of the work that I've done over the past 45 or so years. And it's, I think, for the public who comes to see it, or who sees it virtually, and for myself, it's a bit of a revelation. I began to gather the pieces for the show, mostly from my own home collection, but a lot of it has been in boxes for the years or in the basement. And as I spread it out, I began to realize I kind of covered a lot of territory. My style, what I sort of felt like was my style, often deviated. And there are pieces in the show, early pieces that I think will surprise some people, where I was just starting out blind to what might be in me. I was just kind of getting control of the material, to pieces that people who haven't seen them before would not, if they didn't know it was in my show, they wouldn't know it was made by me. There's quite a bit of that in the show. As I look back over it, I did take a lot of side roads in addition to the main road that I was taking that earned my living. It's fun to look at. There's a lot of surprises in the show, so hopefully you get to see it in person.